Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Holly with Colorful Crafting, and I am filming this tonight on Sunday. I believe the date is the 19th, but I'm probably not going to upload this until tomorrow, Monday, possibly Tuesday, but probably tomorrow, because I got some things to say. This is going to be it's going to be heavy on the chat side of things, because I just watched the last episode of Game of Thrones and I got some feelings that I need to get out of me. And yeah, what better way to do it than to talk a little bit about it during a Wip and Chat, which is why I'm waiting until tomorrow to upload this. But anyway, I hope everyone had a really nice weekend. We had some really great weather for a change. This is, I think, pretty much the first full weekend where we had no rain. And I was just talking about this with roommate Tom earlier, that we actually had, or we are having, a spring this year, which we haven't for the last couple of years. Usually it goes straight from being super duper cold to summertime, like 100 degrees. But it's been really nice. It's been in the 70s for the last 2 weeks. I love it. I wish it would stay like this all year. Okay, so I'm trying a different angle tonight because I am once again in my bedroom. Yeah, I got a little bit more done on my malformed looking elephant. I don't know, malformed is probably the not the right word to use. My unique elephant. Why don't we call him unique? He's unique. Okay. Yeah, I got a little bit more done last night. And yeah. So for those of you who also make videos that may be watching, do you ever feel like you go to start a video, like especially Wip and Chat, and you have all these ideas and all these things you want to talk about, and as soon as you hit record, they completely leave your brain? That's me right now. My allergies are bothering me like crazy. The pollen has been absolutely terrible. I think I'm going to start with the N. We'll go with N. Why not? I was going to do some more 310s, but I did a lot of 310s on my other project that I'm working on. Yeah, so my allergies are really bothering me. My nose is stuffy, and I kind of got a tickle in my throat, but it's mainly, I have contact, I don't know if it's eczema or dermatitis. I know they're two very different things, but when the pollen gets really bad and I'm outdoors, I break out, and it's almost like I get hives. I get hives when I get overly nervous and anxious too, and that's what I always thought they were, but this is allergy related and it's been bothering me like crazy. Just thought I would share, you know. Yeah. And you know what? The only medicine that seems to help me with my allergies, that makes the itching stop at all, well, I use cream. Like this is the stuff my doctor told me to use. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it helps a lot, but it's very greasy. Even though it says non-greasy, it is very greasy, because once I get it on my hands feel all slimy, but it does make it feel better. And that's more important than having greasy hands. Yeah, but I take Benadryl, and it helps for a little while. The only problem with the Benadryl is that it knocks me out. I can take NyQuil, I can take most cold medicines, stuff like that. Doesn't make me sleep. I take one teeny tiny little Benadryl and it knocks me on my ass for like 4 or 5 hours. I made the mistake one time of taking it while I was at work. I am never doing that again. Let me tell you, I felt like a zombie for my entire shift. Thankfully, it was starting to wear off by the time I left to go home. Yeah. Like 20 minutes ago, when I brought up the subject, yeah, I have a bit of a different setup this way. My hand's not in the way. You can actually see what I'm doing. Yeah, because I'm back up in my bedroom again. Roommate Tom had absolutely nothing to say when the episode of Game of Thrones ended, which is very strange. But he probably wants to, like, sleep on it before he forms his opinion. I don't need to sleep on it because I already know how I feel about it. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And I will give a spoiler warning just in case anybody who still watches the show and has not seen it does not want to be spoiled. But just heads up, I will be talking about it. I'm not going to get into like specific details because this is not a Game of Thrones channel. But I will be saying some stuff because, like I said, I got some feelings. Okay, so my weekend has been all right. Not very productive. I didn't really do much of anything other than what I normally do on a weekend. My normal weekend routine. Now, I've said this many times. I'm normally off Sunday and Monday, but I am on vacation this week. So my Saturday, I ran around, did some errands, and did some stuff around the house. Did some organizing. I actually pulled out some of my older China mail that I have that I never did inventories on, and did that. Because I'm finding, I don't know about you guys, I'm finding that I quite enjoy doing inventories. I find them very relaxing. I don't know, there's just something about, especially if it's a good kit and you can kind of tell if it's going to be a good kit, you know, if there's no loose drills, if there's no big huge rivers in the canvases, you can kind of tell it's going to be a good one. I haven't, thankfully, encountered one that was absolutely terrible yet. I'm sure it's going to happen. But yeah, I find it very relaxing. Just, you know, going through all the drills and marking them off on the inventory sheet. And so what I've been doing, I might do a video showing how I do my inventory. I don't know. Would you guys be interested in seeing something like that? You guys would have to suffer through a lot of crinkling, though. And I know that's a big problem for some people. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not one of the people who love it, but it's just, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing me do an inventory video. But what I normally do is, if it has an inventory sheet, I will do the drills. I will flatten out the canvas as best as I can. And then I will do the drills, and I will go, if they're all connected and in piles, like, you know, like little, what am I trying to say? I am not explaining myself very well. If, like, all the colors are together, I just go off the inventory sheet. I don't separate them out. If they're all little individual packets, which I hate, by the way. I can't stand it when every single package of drills is separate. I don't like it at all. It makes my OCD go crazy. I much prefer when they have them in strips according to color. But irregardless. So I do it that way. I go strictly off the inventory sheet and I mark everything off. I don't count the drills. I know some people like double count the drills. I just go by pack number, which might end up biting me in the butt at some point. It's just easier for me to do it that way. Now, I don't know, up until now, with the exception, obviously, of Diamond Art Club, all the kits that I have gotten, that I've done inventories on, have had inventory sheets. I don't know, I haven't decided yet how I will handle it. when I have a kit that doesn't have an inventory sheet. So after I made that sound incredibly exciting, I'm sure you guys are dying to see me do it. But, yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I sat and I did some of those because I did get China mail over the weekend. I got 3 packages that I was looking for, and I was going to film unboxings, but to be quite honest, I just wasn't up to it. There was a lot going on this weekend, and yeah, I just, everybody has those days where you don't feel like adulting, and you don't really feel like talking. That was pretty much me. So I went into the dining room and I sat down and I did some inventories, and it made me feel better. And I was able to go out and diamond paint on my other project for a little while, which, by the way, I am absolutely loving. The square diamonds. I believe I mentioned it in my last video. I love the square diamonds. Granted, this is the first one that I'm doing. This is not it. This is round. The other project that I'm doing is, it's called Owl I Want Is You, and it's from Diamond Art Club. It's a small one. And it's owls. And the colors are gorgeous, and the canvas is really great. And I have done a sea of 310s, and let me tell you, I have not had one bit of trash in any of the 310s so far. I've had no popping drills. This is like a dream canvas for me so far. And it was exactly what I needed because I was stressed out big time on my other project, which was another Diamond Art Club, because it was so big. So, it was a good idea for me to put the other one away for a while and do 2 smaller canvases. And speaking of canvases, I did place another order with AliExpress. I was just saying to a friend of mine that I thought I was done buying diamond paintings for a while because I was all proud of myself because I didn't immediately run to Diamond Art Club when they released more new paintings and buy a whole bunch of them. I did not buy any of them. So I was all proud of myself, and then I went to AliExpress and bought more there. I did not spend nearly as much money as I would have at Diamond Art Club, but yeah, it's an addiction. I probably at this point have more paintings than I could do in like 2 or 3 years, but and a good excuse that I can use for buying so many lately from AliExpress anyway, I think I have somewhere around like 10 more coming in, is the whole China tariff thing. I don't think anybody really knows if it's going to affect diamond paintings, and if you guys know one way or the other, could you let me know, because I'm very confused, because some people say it will, others say it won't. So the consensus from the people that I've heard say it might, but even if it does, it would only be a difference of a couple of dollars. So I guess we'll see. So I'm using that as an excuse. Well, if the tariffs start, making an impact on diamond paintings, then it's good for me to buy them now because I won't want to buy them when they go up in price. Yeah, right. But anyway, I'm trying to not buy paintings from a whole bunch of different stores. I would rather stick to a core group of stores that I know I have a good chance of getting decent canvases from, which is part of the reason why I have this notebook that I'm writing everything down in when I place an order and when they come in, what the canvases look like, what the condition is, how long it took to get to me, blah blah blah, because that way I can keep track of the excuse me, of the shops that I have a good relationship with. So I ordered 2 more from Evermoment, And then I also ordered 2 more from Huacan, which, you know what? Some people absolutely freaking love Huacan and will not buy from anybody else. And then there are other people who hate them and will never spend another dollar with them. So it's kind of hit or miss with them, I guess. I'm just hoping that the whole problems that they were having with all the drills has been somewhat rectified, because I do have a custom coming from them. Actually, I have 2 customs coming from them. One of which is, once again, sitting in Chicago. It's been there about a week at this point, which is how long the last one was there, so maybe it might make some progress tomorrow. We will see. Oh, I knew there was a question I wanted to ask you guys. I see a lot of people commenting about having canvases that don't have, like, that are not chart, or they don't have a grid, like they don't have the circles or the squares. I don't think I've worked on one of those yet. Are they really that much harder to work on? I'm curious. I would think that they would be. And does that happen a lot? Because that would also be another reason to try and stick with some of the more well-known shops that you've dealt with in the past. So I'm just curious, because as I keep saying, I'm still a newbie. I've only been diamond painting for about probably 3 or 4 months at this point. It feels like it's been a lot longer, but it hasn't. Yeah, so that's Holly's question of the night for her viewers and subscribers. Oh my god, my allergies are really kicking my butt right now. They seem to get more intense at night. I don't know why, but they do. And of course, you know, sitting most of the time during like the spring and summer, I sit out on the back deck and do whatever I happen to be crafting. Either, well, like for example, last summer I wasn't really crafting. I was reading all the time. I miss reading all the time. I really do. It's been really difficult for me to stay focused on a book all the way through for the last, well, pretty much since the beginning of the year, actually. I'm grateful that I've been able to start listening to audiobooks because, like I said, I listen to an audiobook as I'm diamond painting, and I'm able to focus because it's kind of like I sort of zone out when I'm doing the diamond painting, that my brain can like listen to the book but also focus on the diamond painting. But when I sit down to try and read a physical book, it's like my brain just will not focus. My mind wanders. And I'm really hoping that's not like a permanent thing. I'm hoping that I'm just going through a phase. Because, you know, reading has been such a huge part of my life, my entire life, you know. And that would just really suck. But I'm still, well, actually, I finished the first Game of Thrones book on audio. I really did not like the narrator. I almost gave up on it a couple times because he just constantly was mispronouncing things. Like, one of the biggest pet peeves I had was that it's the first book, so, you know, there's like a lot of stuff with Joffrey and stuff in King's Landing, and with Cersei before she became the hell beast that she turned into. She was still a beast, but not quite as bad. And the narrator kept calling him Jeffrey instead of Joffrey, and he would call it Winterfall instead of Winterfell. And it's like little nitpicky things that most other listeners probably wouldn't have even noticed, but of course irritated the crap out of me. Yeah, but I still really enjoyed it. And even though I had read the book years and years ago, there was a lot that I didn't remember. So it was cool going back and listening to it. And then also watching the first season of the show, I realized how true they stayed to the first book, which was quite refreshing. considering what the hell happened to the show over the last 2 seasons. I am not of the mindset that once they ran out of books to take their material from, that the show fell apart. I only think that the show has had issues towards the end of last year and this season. So, if you're keeping track, that's Holly's opinion. I don't know how this is looking. What do you guys think about the elephant? Do you think it looks like an elephant? Do you think the colors are good? Because on screen, it definitely looks different than what I'm seeing in person. It doesn't look as weird on camera as it does to me. That's part of the reason why I keep going. Because I'm hoping that when I get further into it, it will just magically come together and look beautiful. Because to me right now, I know what this is. Like, I know this is the trunk, and this is his leg, and that's a weirdly shaped foot that looks like a donut to me. But like close up as I'm doing it, it looks like a big blob of weird colors. But yeah. Anyway. So tomorrow is Monday, and we have a routine every Monday. Part of the reason why I take Mondays off is because Byron the Wonder Dog that will be 15 in October, has a standing appointment at the vet's office every Monday for laser treatment on his joints because he has problems with his legs. He's been having a lot of problems with his back legs lately. So he gets laser treatment every week, and this has been going on for years, and his back leg problem has gotten worse, and I think I'm done with that symbol, so I think I'm going to go with I. Alright. Yeah, his back leg problem has gotten a lot worse over the last year. And I actually, not to be all Debbie Downer and everything, but I honestly think that part of the reason that roommate Tom has been so irritable lately is because he's watching Byron decline rather rapidly over the last year, and I know that's not easy for him. It's not easy for any animal owner. I mean, he's still good. He still has his good days and his bad days. He just has a lot of problems with his back legs. And, yeah. I'm not going to get myself all depressed here. But anyway, so tomorrow we go to the vet. And tomorrow is his his yearly physical, the dog. So he gets his shots and all that stuff. So, yeah. So that will take up part of my Monday. What did I say I was doing? I was doing I. Okay. This color looks exactly like the color that I just did. To me, anyway. I guess maybe this N is a little bit more of a neutral tone, and this is like a lighter neutral. I'm not sure. Whatever. Anyway. Sorry, guys. Okay, so, there was a tag that I wanted to do from a video that I watched on Ella's channel, but when I was watching the video, I actually was diamond painting, so I wasn't writing down the tag questions, so I guess I'll have to go back and do that at some point, because the tag that she did had some really interesting questions that you don't see very often. So I really wanted to do that. I think I already asked this in my last Wip and Chat, but I didn't get any responses. But did any of you guys get any of the new paintings that were up on Diamond Art Club? There were some that I liked, but nothing that I had to have. I was kind of surprised that the Tinkerbell one wasn't available, because I remember right before the last time they released new canvases at the beginning of May, that they said, oh, this is going to be in our next wave at the end of May. And there's been no mention of the Tinkerbell since then. That would really be the only one that I would have been interested in getting. Right now, anyway. There is one that I really like, but I don't think it's new. It's this horse. I can't remember the name of it. I put it in my wish list. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got multicolored hair. Like the mane looks like a rainbow. It's really pretty. And I don't normally go for that kind of painting. I've been getting more into the animal paintings, as I said, with my gorgeous owls that I'm working on and my elephant. And yeah, like, because I think I've touched on this before. Do you guys have like a preference of what kind of subject matter you prefer doing diamond paintings of? Because honestly, I'm not a big fan of doing people, because maybe I'm just too nitpicky, but I don't think that people come out that great. At least in my experience, because I know it sounds like I'm harping on this every time I bring this subject up, but like Gaia, I enjoyed doing that a lot. It was my first Diamond Art Club that I ever did, and it still looks pretty and I like it, but I just think her face, the shading in her face just looks really weird. And I don't know, I think I enjoy doing animals or scenery. Having said that, all 3 customs that I am currently waiting for feature people, so as the main focus. So go figure. I am really super excited to see the one that's supposed to be Mother of Dragons. It doesn't have a name. It's just an amazing piece of art that I found and thought would make a great custom. And yeah. Okay, so let's get this out of the way, because this is probably going to be a short one tonight, because I'm tired. And yeah. Okay, so consider this your spoiler warning. I am going to talk for the next couple of minutes about the finale of Game of Thrones. Alright, so if you have not seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, please either click off this video and, come back next time with my next video, or fast forward a couple minutes. I will hold up. Whoa. I will do this for a couple of seconds when I'm done with the spoilers, if I remember. No, I will. I will hold up a thumbs up when I'm done, if you want to just fast forward. Okay. So, this entire season, I've, seen everybody and their uncle complaining about how bad it's been, and how everybody, or how the writers have just completely forgotten about all the character development over the last 8 years, and how all the episodes have been terrible, and blah blah blah. And I've been sort of on the fence. The Battle of Winterfell, or the Longest Night, or whatever it was called, the 3rd episode of the season, I thought it was a kick-ass episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very well done. The only complaint I had was that it was very dark. But I can understand why it was dark, because based off of what they've been saying, the powers that be wanted it to be dark to sort of make the viewer feel like they were in the middle of it, because that's what the people in the middle of the battle were experiencing, this dark chaos all around them. So, while I can understand it, I also understand why so many people were aggravated by it. Having said that, I was one of the people who was not surprised by the whole Dany turning into the Mad Queen. Because I've read the books. You go all the way back to the first book. Dany is very damaged. And, all the way back to the first book, when Drogo kills her brother, and she just stands there and watches him kill her brother with no emotion. And what does she say? She says something like, he is not the dragon, dragons do not burn, or something like that. And then she's like wiped out entire cities, all this, that, and the other. So it wasn't so far-fetched for me to think that once she lost everybody that was important to her, that she would go batshit crazy. And the bitch did. Pardon my French, but she did. So I wasn't surprised. Did I think it was realistically done? Not really, because they didn't have enough time to build towards her going crazy. They just kind of threw it at everybody all at once. It wasn't handled well, so I can understand people being annoyed. Now, this episode, the final episode, the last episode of this freaking show forever, was utterly ridiculous. It was like bad fan fiction. And I do not say that lightly. I used to write fan fiction, so I know bad fan fiction, okay? Some things were okay, but the vast majority of it was terrible. I thought the death scene was horrible. Probably one of the cheesiest, most ridiculous death scenes I've ever seen. I thought everything that happened after that was completely wasted. I thought it was like a parody of itself almost. It felt like a really bad Saturday Night Live sketch, especially the last scene with Tyrion and the new counselors of the king or whatever. I thought it had devolved into some really bad slapstick comedy, and I sat there with my mouth hanging open for the last half hour of the show. And yeah, I just thought it was terrible. And if it wasn't for two things that I did actually like about the episode, it would have been a complete waste. The first thing that I really liked was I liked the closure that they gave Jaime and Cersei. Did I agree with the way they chose to kill off those characters? No. I think they both deserved a more epic end. But I like that because so many people were saying, oh, they're probably not dead, that you didn't actually see them die. I like that you actually saw that they were dead. And the other thing I liked was that Jon was reunited with Ghost, and frickin' producers and writers finally let him have a moment with his goddamn direwolf. Because that really aggravated me. That he just after everything that he's been through with that wolf, they just let him turn around and walk away without even really acknowledging him. It was just terrible. Terrible. So I liked that they gave the fans that moment. But everything else, complete and utter shit. So yeah, that's my feelings. Probably some people who don't agree with me. But yeah, I have not gone online. I have not checked Facebook. I have not checked my text messages, because I know for the next couple days that's all it is going to be about. So on the one hand, I'm sad that it's over. But on the other hand, I'm kind of glad that it is, because now I don't have to hear about it. I don't have to hear about how much people hate it. anymore. I probably will for the next week or so, but then it should die down. And I can go back to listening to the books and remembering why I liked the series to begin with. So there you go. And that's it. I'm done. I'm done talking about Game of Thrones. So anybody who paused or fast forwarded or whatever, you are safe to come back and join us for the time being, for the time that is left. And this is like Confetti City, you guys. This is like taking me 3 days to do this one little section. Yeah. One other final Game of Thrones comment, but not spoilery in the least. Now that it's over with, it's a little strange that, you know, if it's Sundays are going to feel strange without Game of Thrones. So, before Game of Thrones came on, they showed a preview for the next season of Westworld, and it's completely different. I'm not a huge fan of Westworld, but we did watch it, and now Aaron Paul is on it, and I'm like, it's set in the future or something. They're not in the Old West anymore. That world is gone, I guess. I don't know. It confused me. It doesn't take much to confuse me, but there you are. Oh, I knew there was something else I wanted to mention on here. Has anybody else out there been having problems with, like, packages being delivered? Because I mentioned this before. All of a sudden, it's taking longer to get packages. Even stuff from Amazon is taking longer. Three times in a row now, I've had a package sent, and it has ended up being delayed to the point where when you check the tracking, it says in transit, arriving late. But it doesn't give you a reason why it's arriving late. And they've all come from different parts of the country. And it's happened again because I ordered a diamond painting pen last week. And I think the girls... Oh, God, I should have written down the name of her store. I will. When I get it, I will give her a shout out, definitely. But she mailed the pen the same day I ordered it, which is amazing. So it's no fault of her, but it's been like, it was sitting in Georgia for like almost a week, and then it finally updated the status, and it's like in transit, but arriving late. And it said that like on Thursday after it was shipped out on Monday, and it hasn't updated since then. This is like the third time in the last week that packages that have been coming to me have been delayed for some reason. They must all be sitting in Chicago with my diamond painting from China. Frickin' Chicago. I know a lot of people have problems with stuff that goes through New York, but knock on wood. I haven't had any problems with New York. It's every time it goes through Chicago. It's there at least a week. I should probably check the time on this. Let's see. 38. Alright, we'll go for like 10 more minutes, and then we'll call it a night. So, do any of you have to have like white noise or anything when you go to sleep? I cannot sleep without a fan going. I have tried, like if I'm traveling, I don't travel that often, but if I'm traveling and I'm like in a hotel or something, no, can't sleep. Too quiet. I remember the last time I went to New York City, I stayed at this little Holiday Inn in Chinatown, and who thought it would be too quiet in New York City to sleep? But it was for me. So I have this whole routine. Not only do I use a fan, actually there's a whole story with the fan, but let me finish my point. So not only do I use a fan, but I also have a podcast playing in the background very, very quietly. It's the Time Suck podcast, which is my favorite podcast. I think, I've talked about it before on this channel. Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Who knew being on vacation could make you so tired? Time Suck, I listen to it on a daily basis. And it's one of those shows where I can listen to it over and over and over again and I don't get tired because he's just so, the host, Dan Cummins, he's a comedian. He's just so entertaining. And, so I have a bunch of, I'm going to sound like such a weirdo. Too late. But I have a bunch of my favorite episodes on a playlist. And I just play it every night. And I fall asleep to his voice. That sounds creepy. But yeah, I listen to it as I fall asleep. And, so that's my routine. But the story about the fan, when I was younger, when I was a kid, I didn't really need to have anything playing. When I was taking care of my dad, sorry about that, I hit the tripod. When I was taking care of my dad, I didn't have a fan or anything like that because I wanted to make sure I was able to hear him if he needed me. Oh my goodness, I think I'm done with the eyes. I am. Okay. I think we are going to go with H, and when we're done with the H, we will call it a night. So, I became, out of necessity, a very light sleeper when I was taking care of my dad. Because if he needed me, I had to make sure I was up and able to go to him if he called me in the middle of the night. So that has stayed with me, even after he passed away. So when I moved in with my old roommate, who I lovingly call Crazy Jerry, and yes, that is her real name, and I don't care that I'm using it on a video that's going on YouTube, because she's insane. When I moved in with her, she was very loud, and like I do now, I have very early, I go into work very early. I would get up at 3:30 to go to work to be there at 4:30. Even back then. She didn't care. So, she was just as loud at night as she was during the day. So, in order for me to get any sleep at all, I started sleeping with the fan on high. And that's how I got in the habit. So, and trust me, I could have had 4 fans going on in my bedroom sometimes. And I still would have heard her. But, whatever. Things happen for a reason. And as I've said, I say that all the time. I've realized that. I always say, I've said this before. I've talked about this before. I might have mentioned this before. I apologize, you guys. But anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, I know I've told the story of how I met Tom and the whole situation of how we moved in together. Things happen for a reason. We met each other at the exact right time for both of us. And I don't think I really believed that until that experience happened. So, in my own way, I am extremely grateful to Crazy Jerry, because if I did not know her and did not find myself in such a toxic, terrible living situation, I wouldn't have I would have met him probably, but I wouldn't be living with Tom. And even though we irritate each other, even though he's moody, he's a great guy, and I'm very fortunate to know him, because he's helped me a lot. So I try to remind myself of that when he's being a butthead, like he's been being over the last month especially. But yeah. So do you guys, any of you, have any nighttime rituals Like, do you have to do certain things before you go to bed or as you go to bed? Especially people like me who have issues sleeping to begin with. I have actually, when I'm working, started taking melatonin, which I used to I've tried it several times in the past and it never worked. For some reason it works for me now. Which I'm glad, because if I try to take a sleeping pill and then force myself to get up at 3:30 in the morning, I don't recommend that at all. It's not a good idea. Yeah. Another thing that I've been doing with all these diamond paintings that I've been ordering from China lately, I've been getting smaller sizes. Because I have a crap ton of Diamond Art Club. And say what you will about Diamond Art Club. They're a great company. Their canvases are perfect usually. Their drills are really great. Blah, blah, blah. Primarily they deal with super big canvases. Or big to super big. Yeah. And right now, I think I have enough big canvases. So I'm concentrating on getting some smaller ones, because I'm not giving up on the big ones. But I need to have smaller ones too. So if I start to feel overwhelmed, because, you know, as everyone says, diamond painting is supposed to be relaxing. It's supposed to make you feel better. And it's been a huge help in maintaining my stress levels. So the last thing I need is to have it start stressing me out, which was what was starting to happen when I was working on I Miss You. I just, like, it's just, I felt like I was working on it and spending hours every single day working on it, and it just wasn't fun, because I kept looking at it, and to me it looked like I made no progress at all. So to me it felt like I had sat here for all these hours working on it and I wasn't getting anywhere. And for some people that doesn't matter. And I know everyone says it's not a race, it's a hobby, it takes however long it takes. I understand that and I appreciate that, but part of the reason why I enjoy it is the sense of accomplishment, the sense of, you know, doing something that I enjoy, but having, you know, being able to finish it. Because that is one of my major problems, is that I start a bunch of things and I don't finish them because I get frustrated or I lose interest or I can't focus. But diamond painting is something that I can sit and work on and work on and work on until it's finished. And the sense of accomplishment that comes from that is one of the things that I love about it. So to sit there for so many hours, and I think I've been working on I Miss You for about a month now, and I'm not even halfway through with it. It's just, it got to be too much. So it was a good idea for me to step away from it for a while, because this way, hopefully, when I go back to it, I'll be able to appreciate it more, and enjoy doing it more. So, yeah. So that's the main reason why I have been ordering a bunch of small canvases. So when I start to get overwhelmed by something that's big, or something that's just, I'm just not feeling, because you do have to, I've learned that I have to allow myself to walk away from things. I can't just force myself to finish something. Because then when you do that, it's not fun anymore. And what's the point in that? And I think I've done all the H's. Hot damn. Of course I'll probably, here's another one. Oh, there's another one. Ugh, spoke too soon. Oh my god, there's like 4 or 5, I see at least like 3. Goodness. least I spotted them before I put the drills away. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys one more thing, and then we really will call this a night. So as a viewer on YouTube, DiamondTube in particular, do you prefer watching Wip and Chats or lives? And I'm only asking because there's been so much drama going on about the whole lives versus Wip and Chats thing. Me personally, I much prefer Wip and Chats. It's just a personal preference. It's just, I know there's been just so much stuff going on. Some people, all they want to do is lives, and that's your prerogative. It just seems like some days I'll come on and that'll be the only thing, when I search for videos to watch, it'll be the only thing that's like available in diamond painting are lives, like, live streams from the day before or something. I miss seeing lots of Wip and Chats. I mean, they're still there. You just gotta look a little bit harder. And as for me, I honestly don't think that I would feel comfortable doing a live. I think it would put too much pressure on myself. I'm perfectly comfortable. I'm perfectly fine sticking with the Wip and Chats. But that's just me. And I think we are officially done with the H's, people. Okay, I think I can safely put down my pen without seeing one that I missed. Stop looking. Okay. I'm still seeing stuff that I missed from yesterday. Like I did Z's. There's still Z's there. Anyway. Okay, you guys. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me tonight. I hope you got some progress done on your project. I really enjoy coming on here and babbling at you guys. So thank you for listening and watching my videos. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you very, very soon. So have a good night, you guys. Later.